What is even up? It's your boy Crabman here with
my boy Hackenstein.
I guess. Welcome to the Hypnotic Hootout.
Welcome.
Wait, let me check the microphone just. Or was it just my laugh? Because that always explodes the meter.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's not. But it should be fine. No, wait, is there a weird gain in there?
Yeah.
Okay, let me take that out just to be on the safe side. This should still be, or is it worse? Is somebody there to listen and tell us if it sucks?
Changed, to be honest.
Well,
but that reminds me, I should probably go into chat.
Well,
to
if you want
respond to all the questions.
I guess you can do that also by just
so
telling people, since you are in view or whatever. Anyway, hello and welcome to the Hypnotic Hootout. And yeah, thanks for joining us. I guess we're gonna talk about how we're gonna do things differently this week, and then maybe about some guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
And then let's see what else we can come up with. How are you doing?
You know.
I do know.
Yeah. Anxious a bit. Because as you know, this is supposedly the last day that my ex-girlfriend is in my room to get all her stuff out. I even got a message just a couple of minutes ago saying that she's got pretty much everything out and she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what you hoped for, or did she tell you?
No, she told me. She told me, so yeah.
So wait, everything's done. It's dealt with.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Because that's the source of all my anxiety, you know. Like getting there and then either seeing that she's gone and completely destroyed my room or whatever, or she's just gone, or she's still there, didn't take anything out, which I think is really unrealistic. But my brain still kind of has this fear.
Well, I guess we'll know next time.
Yeah. Oh man. But besides that, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, we were again like a week together. So this time I think we spoke like less this week. So maybe we have something to still talk about today.
Do you think so? I think you just can't remember that we were talking the entire time. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's been a while since I haven't seen you.
Well, finished Twin Peaks.
Oh yes, we watched Twin Peaks.
At least seasons 1 and 2. And the movie. Yeah. What was
the new one, The Return, is still
quite something
on the menu, and that's gonna be something. Oh, we should start that today. Should we just watch that, just stream that instead of whatever boring stuff we're gonna talk about?
I think we would get into trouble. Also, I think I have a couple of very exciting things to talk about.
Well, let's see.
Really? Oh, now?
No, not just
okay,
right away.
Good. Okay.
But I was wondering, speaking of copyright infringement, I have seen streams where they just have the radio playing in the background and stuff. Like, do you know actually anything about what they allow and where the line is? And
well, you can stream it, I think. Man, it's not illegal.
It's deleted off the
But
VOD.
if you delete it right away, nobody will come after you, usually. Except if you're like really high level and I don't know. Okay,
so it would be possible, we just can't. Like if we upload it to YouTube, then we get a copyright strike.
Definitely.
It's bad, and although who cares, we're not monetized.
If you want to hear music, you've got to make more music.
I got plenty. I was just curious. Because I was like, hey, wait a minute, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
Yes, well.
How has your week been? So rude.
I know. I was gonna transition into it myself, like a chump.
At least I prevented that.
Well, my week How was my week? Was my week good? I feel like I was most of the time like riddled with stress and anxiety. So, but otherwise it was fine. I mean, what else is new? I'm of course a bit tired because these last 2 days and you're now gonna then get now like a really behind the scenes look into the glamorous indie life.
Yes.
Because these last 2 days I have been picking up the breakfast shift at a hostel, basically refilling the orange juice for some hungry Germans to supplement the lack of income.
So basically you had kind of a real job?
I don't know if I would go that far. I literally refill orange juice like 50% of the time. That's like the main thing that's going. People love their orange juice. Like, I don't have to refill the bread rolls or whatever very much. Although those kids, there was a group of students today and they eat salami like crazy. They were just ripped right through it.
Interesting.
I had to cut up some new salami. Like, what? That's never happened to me before. Well. So, but it's one of those things that I really don't want to do because it includes getting up at 6:30, which is blasphemous. I don't think I haven't gotten up at 6:30 since school. That's been a long time ago, which is also something I'm stressing about. But yeah,
school?
How long it's been.
Oh, right.
I'm very preoccupied with dying these days. So the time is just marching on. It's stressing me. I don't like it. It's not for me.
I have a real concept of time, so maybe
I want to opt out of aging, please. But yeah, so it's fine. Like, it's both. I'm not being paid enough for getting up so early, and why are they paying me to do basically nothing for 3 hours? I don't know. But it's good for me, I guess.
I feel like most real jobs have this part where you do nothing, and it's pretty big for like the 8 hours you usually work.
Obviously. I mean,
you do 4, and still like half the time it's just orange juice and sitting around.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I feel like it's more like a student job, what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
it's one of those menial tasks.
You're taking away labor from the needy students. But again, they don't have to pay too much money here in Germany, so maybe that's okay.
A nice thing, though, doing something while I actually have a job, is that they don't have to pay... What is that called?
Tax.
Yeah, all that
insurance,
nonsense.
Money stuff.
All that stuff. Yeah. They don't have to pay that again, so I get like the full almost 10 euros. That is the minimum wage per hour. Because usually
is
you
10
only...
the minimum wage in Germany?
Yeah, 9.30 or something.
Oh, okay.
But you usually, that's like the net wage you get out of that is around 7.50.
Yeah.
Which...
With all the money coming in, you have to think about paying the taxes, you know?
I think I'm actually still below that.
Pretty sure you are.
I've gotten some decent money this year. Decent enough.
That's still not the right use of the word decent, but it worked out. I mean, that's the crazy thing about money, right? That we live pretty good.
Cheaply?
Okay. But cheaply. Yeah, cheap, but good.
We do okay, yes.
We do pretty okay. I mean, we really have like most of the things we want. Couple we don't need even. Still get to eat like kebabs. Pretty good. Yeah, kebabs. If we're hungry, drink beer every week for 2 weeks without like being worried about money. And then that's still under the poverty limit, I think, right?
Yeah.
So we live under the poverty limit in Germany, and it's still pretty nice.
Yeah, if you don't need anything and don't want anything, you can really survive well.
Yeah.
Well, the problem then, of course, comes in, now that travel is opening up again. I'm earning right now the money to fly out my wife and things like that. Because that, of course, is a little more expensive than 2-3 crates of beer. Sadly, it shouldn't be really. Anyway, so yeah. I think it was still a good week, but like every day I was like, oh my god, now I only have 2 nights left where I don't have to get up in the morning. And
all right.
because it was just...
At least you didn't stress about me occupying your space all the time. It's a relief for me, so I'll take it.
But yeah, no, it was good fun. I did enjoy seeing Twin Peaks again. I haven't done it in a couple of years. I always worry that it's boring, but I think what I think about where it gets tedious for me is like the last half of the second season, because then I just don't enjoy it as much anymore, and it's kind of, I have seen it already, so it's not like it doesn't have the freshness, and there's really nothing else than, oh, that's new, so it's kind of it's kind of a shame. Like they were forced to jump the gun on revealing what's going on, and then nobody wanted to watch it anymore, and I guess they also didn't know what to do anymore. If they were even still involved. I'm unclear on David Lynch's involvement in the second season overall, I believe.
The
last episode, I mean, that's a great episode. That's kind of what it saves.
I remember his name.
Yeah.
Written, directed by David Lynch,
Yeah, no, the Black Lodge and everything, that's some cool stuff. And I think that's why, I even bother watching that stuff. It's fine to have like 6 episodes that kind of meh, to have that blowout in the end. So it's but yeah, so that was fun. We also started Lady Dynamite, which is interesting. It is interesting. I mean, I'm only so sure if I care about what happens. But I like the way it's done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really interestingly made.
That's the thing. It's interestingly made of something that I'm not that interested
like the limits of a sitcom.
Yeah.
Talking a lot about like mental issues, but without like being too preachy or being like too dismissively.
It's the destigmatizing, basically, what they're trying to.
And I like her humor that like comes from another side where you don't expect it. And that's really like most of the episodes for me are also like interesting, entertaining, and then there's just like one joke in there that like makes me spill my drink.
Yeah, there was a couple. I don't remember them at all, but I remember laughing.
Yeah.
But then I do that all the time. So
she has this left field humor somehow. But you don't expect it to go that way, and then
that's the interesting thing. Like, I'm interested to see it just to see what else they're gonna come up with.
Yeah.
But I feel like once I've seen it, it's probably similar. Then it's probably not gonna be as exciting.
No, it's not as exciting. It's not. No. And I was surprised how fast it develops.
Yeah.
But I think when I started watching it, I only watched like 1 episode a day. Because it was just, I wanted to save it. But that's like the one thing. Like the other thing, I really enjoy watching just her do the stuff and all the characters and all the actors she gets in there, and that's really a lot of female roles, and that you don't really realize that like most of the cast is female.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
And you hardly ever have this experience with most of the other stuff.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. I think I'm just... I guess the weirdness, as interesting as it is kind of keeping me from being really invested in the emotional core of it somehow. And also that I'm confused just about the timelines. I looked up now, like how the timelines work to like at least understand where Duluth is happening.
Yeah.
But I get so confused, and so I just watch what happens without following it really, if that makes sense.
No, I get that.
There's a weird disconnect somewhere in there where I'm watching a funny scene after a funny scene. Not like a sketch, or not that disconnected, but still too disconnected for me to be really like invested in the story.
Yeah.
But invested in the presentation of it.
I feel like she doesn't really try to make you too invested in the characters and in the internal lives of her or the other people around. Every once in a while, she has like an emotional part in an episode, and then I think she makes that really well. But most of it is more or less like, it's not a clip show, but it kind of feels like that.
It does, doesn't it?
It goes from joke to joke set up to joke set up, or to from.
But also not that cheaply. I mean, it is a well told continuous story. I guess just the broken up nature of it makes it hard for me to know what to root for or what to worry about. I mean, sure, some episodes are like, okay, she's gonna crack, clearly, and then you kind of just wait, I hope she's gonna be okay. But really, to know what the goals are, to be like, oh my god, I hope this works out. Oh, and what about this other thing that was in last episode and stuff like that doesn't really play into this one.
Hard to follow because there are 3 timelines, right?
Yeah.
And she always has like a boyfriend, or is looking for a boyfriend, or has like
something. It is also really similar. I get so confused sometimes about just, is this, right, no, we're not in the present right now. This is like just a similar situation.
And she does that like intentionally, with like cutting it up. Like, I was not always good in relationships, and then it goes back to Duluth or something like that. But sometimes she doesn't even do that. It's just like finish of the scene, and then she goes back to Duluth. And I didn't realize it the first time I watched it, but now I see that there isn't really a connection there. Why she's going back there, it must be because it just like for the episode to feel better or something.
Although that would also be interesting to see if that all makes more sense when you see it the second time.
Yeah.
When you're more easily...
Well, it did. It was really easy to follow. When she really tells the audience what she's doing, and then she does that, and she really makes sure that a lot of the time jumps are
labeled and colored differently.
Have a reason, and are introduced by her speaking what's up. So I think, well, it's still confusing somehow. But she knows it, and she really tried.
No, for the first part, I kind of immediately forgot what Duluth is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So there's basically the past, which is pre-breakdown. Then she has her breakdown. She has the Duluth phase, which is a location. Is it a town that she's in or something? Where she sometimes says in Duluth.
It's a time. I think her parents live in Duluth, and she was living with her parents or going to a clinic there.
So basically, it's her post-breakdown kind of recovery phase, and then there's the present where she kind of tries to put everything, her life back together, and now she's doing this show that we're watching right now.
Exactly.
It's just there's layers upon layers, and it's and it's fun. I mean, that's what makes it interesting. Right?
Definitely, a lot of the confusion and the excitement is not knowing what's going to happen next, because like everything can happen.
I also don't mind it much.
She doesn't really, keep to any one formula. That's what I like a lot, with jokes as well as with how she tells the story. Yeah, for example, when the extra was wounded by her like throwing the pencil, and the extra got it in the eye, and everywhere was blood. All of a sudden, there was like the series never had any like gory, bloody jokes inside, and then all of a sudden this hits. We kind of like it or you don't, I think.
But speaking of taking it one episode at a time, I have been thinking about if we should do this with Twin Peaks, because that's how I did it. I watched it like every week when it came out, and I feel like there may be an advantage to it.
Yeah, I mean, you can like really
just sit with it.
What you've seen, you
just agonize for a little while.
Work through it.
Is that something that I noticed? I think the most significant time was when Wolf Among Us came out, and I was playing that as it was coming out. I did not wait to buy the complete thing and then just go through it at once. And that really worked on a level that I really appreciated. I mean, I guess it's not that much of a difference, but this little bit of just sitting with it for a couple of months and waiting and curious to, like, there's like a huge twist at the beginning of the first episode, and one that's immediately resolved in the next one, but just sitting with that for months in between and kind of being like, oh wow, I can't believe they did that. That's and then suddenly, oh my god. So it's like a double thing rather than that you like 2 minutes later find out, oh okay, nothing to worry about. So it's but I don't know, we'll see, I guess. I mean, I guess that's true for every series, that there's something to be said for the take your time versus binge it all the way through.
Not every. I think there are series that are definitely better for just binging. Like Russian Doll, for example. It was perfect for just binging through. There weren't really points like at the end of an episode where you had to sit down with the emotion. I mean,
but maybe we didn't notice.
I didn't do it, so how should I know?
Because I mean, there's these things where the fruit in the loops starts to rot in something, and just imagine sitting with that for a couple of weeks and just being like, oh my god, I wonder what's going on. Is the world falling apart? What's gonna happen? Like, even just those 2 weeks of anticipation, they don't really change the story or anything. But I guess you yourself get a little bit of extra time to just like be, oh my god, what's, and psych yourself up for it. Like, I don't know, for example, with Deaths, I also feel like that's just a 7-hour movie, let's just watch it in one go.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure if you like get stuck like after the bathroom scene or something, and you're just like, I need to know, but you have to wait a week, you know. Or like just that action itself, it has something to it.
Wow. Often this feels just cheap, you know. With and
cliffhangers.
I felt that like David Lynch is making a point with how he ended season 1.
Oh yeah,
like it was almost a joke. I feel
that was certainly
so over the top, but exactly what usually like a soapy sitcom would do.
Yes.
Yeah, and really, what surprised me was really how soapy.
It is a soap, basically.
It's a soap, yeah.
It's just a very weird one. Or a very mundane one sometimes.
Yeah, but somehow this is still interesting, and it's not... Maybe because the characters, they aren't as flat as they appear in other soaps, or because there's like a mystery and you know this is not normal life, something's different there, and you're kind of trying to figure out how far the difference goes with their reality and our reality, which you don't have in a normal soap.
There is a certain amount of weight and depth to it, even as it is being dramatic. Like, obviously, you know, characters dying and people crying about it, that happens in every show, but I feel like the way it is done here, even though this is like obviously exaggerated crying, it is like driving the point home of how much well, the death of Loma Palmer, which is literally the first scene, so I hope that's okay. I'm spoiling it. How that pained people, how that hurt everyone. Yeah, the mother is crying, and
screaming, crying, and I always think,
and it's not a real performance. Like, you wouldn't see this in, you know, like a Spielberg movie or something.
But in a soap,
but for like a soap, it is so much more deep, I feel, than like the fake crying of a regular soap.
Yeah, I wonder what it is, really, because I feel like I've seen this kind of like scream crying in soaps, but it always felt so unreal. And then there's cut and it's gone. And in Twin Peaks, it just keeps going.
Yeah, they don't stop. They don't pull any punches about how traumatic this is.
Yeah, but
and I think that's
even then, I just mean just the scene where the mother is crying, screaming, crying, collapsing, crying, sobbing on the floor or whatever that was. Yeah. And then you wouldn't see that in a soap. You wouldn't give pain, I guess, so much time, maybe. And that's the difference, which makes it weighty, that it's not like cutting away to some happy couple because they are afraid that the viewers can't handle that much pain and screaming and I don't know, that the neighbors get disturbed or something.
Well, I think, like, if I think back on the couple episodes of soaps that I've seen, I feel like what they try to do is like be the most exciting all of the time. Like, there's no downtimes, there's no like average conversation. Everything has like to be like to the max. Like every emotion is to the max. And so you don't have the ebb and flow, and you don't have a really solid foundation because you're cranking it up to make it more exciting. You don't use that. Like, I feel like what
contrast.
he did, you know why this woman is upset, and you understand that. You see that everybody in town is like deeply hurt by this death of this person that everybody loved. And so her over the top crying is really just a tool to kind of explore this emotion. Yes, it's done in a kind of over the top way, but still fair enough. Like, it feels like I don't look at her and I'm like, oh wow, she's chewing the scenery. I'm like, this is hard to watch, but damn that poor woman. That's rough. So there's just a realness to the cause, I guess, the motivation for why this is happening, and the way it's expressed, informs that sort of, maybe makes it a little bit more bearable, because maybe if this was done in a hyper real way, and still the amount of crying you see over the first couple episodes, that would probably be emotionally draining too much. So maybe he's using those soap tropes to like, but still to help the point he's making, not to just randomly crank up the emotion and just hope that keeps the viewership.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked at it that way. I always felt like soaps are like trying to portray just a mundane everyday life, but with all the things you hear that other people that happen to other people happening to the characters there in the most extreme ways. So if there's a character who loves to drive his motorcycle, he will die on it in episode 6 or so.
Yeah, for sure,
like,
for sure.
You hear of people having these kind of experiences, but the soap brings them all together and goes like through every story of everyone and always tells like the interactions between the characters. And this is kind of what Twin Peaks does as well, just more focused on like one single event that kind of drives or like directs everyone in the same direction. I don't know.
I think
it's really weird to look at a soap and what works and doesn't work in a soap, and then to look at Twin Peaks because I don't really grasp all the differences that there are, and I feel like this is basically a soap and it shouldn't work.
I think it's in the why. Like they do the work for function. So in a soap, I feel to have all of these moments that would never happen.
Yeah.
In a lifetime, like one of those.
There's no reason why it should happen to these people. It's
exactly.
Just like,
so it's not set up. It's not following any themes. It's just here's the next exciting. It's the next explosion. It's basically what Michael Bay does.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Let's go through it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's basically the difference between like a good action movie and what Michael Bay does, which I don't mean to say is like necessarily bad, but it's like a little bit more, what do you call it, like a spectacle.
Yeah.
And I guess soaps are an emotional spectacle, and so you don't have the real motive. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not, like, when I think of a soap, I think like, oh, the heiress to the hotel has been cheated out of her cut of it or something, and she cries in rage and because she was betrayed by her lover, who's also her twin brother, and it's something that's and it's just there's no reality there, and the acting seems like acting. It's like just screaming loud and looking, taking up a lot of space, and that's acting. But and you don't know why is this person acting this way. She could also be like, well, shit, because that seems like the appropriate response to what's happening to her, right? Well, shit, and then call your lawyer. But it has to be, oh, the betrayal! I am wounded! That's from Frasier, I love that. Yeah, Frasier's also dramatic, but in a hilarious way.
Yeah.
That's the joke that he's so overly. So basically, what Frasier does the entire time, they do for real. While in Twin Peaks, you know why these characters act this way, and they act appropriately. Like, she's also not spending the entire series just being besides herself. She's also like trying. You see her trying to get herself together, and that's just the next thing, and she can't comprehend it anymore. And then everybody else around her kind of affirms her emotion also, and then carries it forward. And then you have those nice. That's why it's so nice, because it gets so mundane in between, where they just hang out and they drink some coffee and get very excited about cherry pie. And of course, that could also seem like quirk for the sake of quirk. I feel like Twin Peaks caused a lot of that. People trying to imitate what they're doing, but ending up with soapy stuff. It's like, ooh, I'm excited about coffee. Ooh, I'm excited about cherry pie. That was
trying to make like another Twin Peaks seems like really hopeless.
There's so much that came from that, and so good stuff too. I mean, I did appreciate Night Vale. What's it called? The podcast. Night Vale?
No idea.
I thought you would have been someone too. Ooh. Oh, I guess it was some of my other friends. Like Love. What's the full title? Something. It's something Night Vale. It's like a fictional radio show, and it's weird, and it's cool.
I think I've
Welcome to Night Vale.
Heard of it before, but yeah, definitely not from me.
So that sort of inspired. What's that game where the second title with the bad frame rate came out?
The second title with the bad frame rate?
Deadly Premonition.
Deadly Premonition. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's just a basic rip-off. Straight. He also loves his coffee and. You know Deadly Premonition, right?
You mean a movie or a game?
That's a game. The second Deadly Premonition 2
movie.
Which movie?
Do they all have to die because they cheated death once and now death comes?
Oh, you mean that Final Destination?
Final Destination, Deadly Premonition, Final Destination. Okay, not sure why I confused both of them.
Well, the title sort of, yeah.
Has something, right? No.
But yeah, that's basically Twin Peaks. Like an FBI agent comes to a small town where there was a murder. And he loves coffee and he's chipper about everything and excited. And
yeah, this was really an interesting choice to make the FBI agent such a goody two shoes.
Such a happy person somehow, appreciating everything.
Then his spiritual side. There's also like, that's not what you expect from an FBI agent. It's the exact opposite, to be honest.
It was a really good show. Oh, I love Twin Peaks.
When was the season 3 released?
2017. So it was like, 16? No, 17, I think.
And you said like 25 years?
It is exactly 25 years later, yes. And the interesting thing watching it again was that he actually in the Black Lodge talks about we will meet again in 25 years. I forgot that was a thing in the old one, and then he actually did it. That's cool.
Do you think he stressed out like, oh, it's been 20 years already?
I mean, he hasn't been doing much since Inland Empire. I think that was 2006, his last movie, and since then he hasn't done anything. I mean, he did some small things. He did like a interview series where he just walks around and interviews some random people. And I think he has a couple of animated things he sometimes does. But hey, Mendocille.
That's cool that he has so much different stuff.
Yeah, I wonder what he's been
living
up to.
Your life that, you know.
What has he been doing these last 10 years that he hasn't done any movies?
Well,
the audacity. Then he releases like a 17-minute short where he talks to a monkey.
What have you done in the last 7 years?
Look at us. Well, I don't know what I've done, but I feel like I've done a lot.
Anyway, good evening, Mendocille.
So I feel like this. Does this need some tweaking?
I'm not really sharp on that. Oh, this is, yeah.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Wait, no, I accidentally pressed the button.
Oh.
Okay, as long as we're still here, everything's good. But yeah, good stuff. So yes, Twin Peaks, cool.
Nice.
Twin Peaks, it gets the thumbs up. Wait, now I got so turned around with what I was doing here that I totally forgot. What we were talking about. What? Well, I guess we finished the Twin Peaks talk.
Yeah, we talked about the week, and that was basically Twin Peaks, right?
That was basically Twin Peaks. Didn't we watch something else too? What else did we watch?
We watched too much.
Yeah. Really... I feel like there was one thing that I wanted to like spiral into from the Twin Peaks one. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. Anyway, what shall we talk about?
Well, if you ask me like that...
Should we talk about the guilty pleasures already, or should we talk about my dissatisfaction with the format?
Good question. I don't think we should start with the complaining, right? The complaining how bad everything is and how stupid topics are, and then like going into a topic, I think would be kind of. Then again, if
it could be kind of a. Anyway, here's the topic. Well, all right, then that's.
But we basically started it, so we don't have to make it too long either, right?
Yeah, well, I guess. I mean, we don't really know what we want to do, so I figured we could just talk about it. Because, I mean, as you may have noticed, Wendesia, we've experimented with the format a bit, and we thought maybe it would be nice if we did some stuff that people can engage with. So the reverse game jam, for example.
Which episode are we in now, by the way?
21.
21.
We've been doing this our 4th episode, like doing more structure.
Yeah.
And also to have a topic that we then talk about, which for today was guilty pleasures. The thing is, bringing in more structure made it more work. And I don't like work. I have enough work. And so it's...
That's basically what we said last time.
Yeah, it's gotten tedious a little bit. Like, I don't like to prepare for these things. I don't like to think about, I have to talk about this game. And I don't like...
Well, I like that part. I like to have something to be prepared.
You always like to prepare.
Yeah, I even started like writing down all the things, like not all the things, but like the things that this week could be interesting to talk about, just so I don't draw a blank when you ask me what happened this week.
I mean, if that works for you. Me, I just like to wing it. And for example, like the Twin Peaks one, if we were doing this completely structured thing, would we have let this get out of hand and talk about that for half an hour? I don't know.
That's completely ridiculous. That you're claiming that the structure is killing your creativity because
but it is.
You can't talk about Twin Peaks if we have a
but
structure.
The thing is, right now I'm excited about Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have known that a week ago.
The start where we can't talk about everything.
So we have half an hour of our show that we actually enjoy, and then an hour and a half where we have to do chores, homework. I don't like that. And who cares what we think about UI? I mean...
Well, I happen to have a lot of opinions about UI.
Well, you didn't share them last time, so what's the use of it?
I tried.
I didn't stop you. I didn't have anything to say. All I said was, I didn't notice. That's my contribution. So, no, I don't like to prepare. I like to talk about whatever comes to mind because that's what I want to talk about in the moment. And the worst thing, actually, though I did like, for example, I like the challenging each other to play something in theory, but it also means that I have another job for the week. And I'm honestly just, I'm full up. That's why I don't play games. Because I don't have the time.
Same. And then you're like knowing that you have to play this game and probably enough to have an opinion on it, and then stream it as well. I mean, what are we, game journalists?
Yeah, exactly. If this was our job, if that was our only job, that would be fine. But so much to do. So I guess what I would like to do is drop that one.
Which one?
The game jam thing.
Yeah.
unless like everybody's so excited. Wait, what does Wendy say?
He says, yes, I noticed it, and last time you already complained about the Hootout becoming work. It's a funny combination with you two. One likes to make his lists and the other wants just to wing it. Exactly.
Yes.
That's how we work.
Well, the one way I could see like this game jam thing sort of work if it was sort of like a book club. Like you, with a community, like decide on something, or you show each other. I was thinking like if we take a month, then maybe I would be less annoyed about it because I would like do nothing for 3.5 weeks and then do my day of extra work. And I guess we could like still do the voting and everything, and then everybody can like. Well, the thing that I think would be interesting is if you can share something that is sort of obscure, that you think is underrated, or that people should try out, that you should know. Something like, I don't know, the Manifold Garden looks awesome. Someone should play that. It's really cool, some type of thing. And then it is. But I don't know, for this week, for example, we forgot it last time. That's why we got confused with our own system of we're not going to vote this week. Did not mean we hadn't voted and we shouldn't select a game. Yeah. So that was confusing. That's why we were talking about simplifying it first, because this whole, okay, let's vote for a week while that is happening. We're going to play something for a week. Then we're going to talk about these all 3 different things or something. I don't even know. And yeah, confusing. But if that was sort of a book club type thing, maybe that would work. But even that, I'm not so excited about personally.
So everybody like plays the same game and then we talk about it?
Or like people throw in suggestions to say, okay, to the topic of whatever, this would be the title that I say, this is cool, this is probably not very known. And then, everybody throws in their titles and you can just play around whatever. But even that, there's something missing in there, I feel, to make it really fun. That's why I'm hesitant to even... And I guess we can discuss this in our Discord, which you should join. Well, not you. You are already there. But you. I guess we can discuss it there if people would be interested to participate, because if only us two do it, that's even more boring, I feel.
And we never find like a real answer because we have 3 options and 2 votes.
Yeah, and
I think the confusion part is definitely something that made it pretty laborious and confusing the last couple of times. I think it's pretty easy to get rid of, though. We just have to do the voting in stream, as I told you, and then select the games immediately, as you suggested.
Yeah.
So we have it like in one package. I think that's much better.
Sure, but then you still have to play it.
And we still need like a couple more listeners. Because 3 votes for 3 options is still not enough.
We technically have 4. Just during the stream is going to be difficult because my wife watches it on YouTube.
Yeah, well, people who don't watch, or like
excluding like most of our audience by doing this live.
Yeah, kind of do.
Because I think we have like 10 people who like watch this stuff on YouTube and like 10 on Spotify and something like that. You should all join our Discord, by the way. Why haven't you done this?
We have to like extract this part, so like the selection of the topics is done throughout the week. So everyone has enough time to vote and doesn't have to be in the stream to participate. And then on the stream we pick the winner. Then on the spot come up with games to play. Maybe even, but you weren't like completely convinced, but I think it will probably be easier if you just pick games that we ourselves want to play for the topic instead of like challenging each other.
That was the one interesting aspect about it, I felt.
Yeah, but like the first game you had to play that you didn't like and select yourself, you did play after it, like the controls didn't work.
Well, sure, I'm not gonna waste my time.
I'm sure if you were excited for the game or picked it yourself, you would have found a way to do it.
Yeah, the thing is, if
So,
I
I
pick it
don't know.
myself, I probably, if I wanted to play it, I would have already done it.
I have a lot of games that, and you probably as well, that you kind of want to play, but you never really had the.
Of course, but that's
motivation
our whole
to.
problem, is it not? We're not motivated. We don't want to. Like, you've streamed twice or something since we said let's stream some more.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to.
Twice as much as you did.
And yeah, okay, so this sounds like something we're just gonna drop it for now.
Yeah.
And I guess this is something that can be revisited. As for the topics, I don't mind if we keep them, if we generate them in the middle, and then just like sort of as
wing it.
So yeah, as a sort of a prompt.
Well, okay.
Is then I don't feel all week like, ugh, I should think about that and come up with something. I don't do that anyway. So if it's so easy, then we can do this.
I can do it on the spot, probably. Yeah, I can probably do it live.
So let's do that. So this is the last time we're gonna do it beforehand. So that's guilty pleasures. We already know this. And next time we're gonna drop all the shenanigans. We're just gonna do our regular chats again, where we don't have to do anything, and use one little prompt that we can then put in the title.
And I mean, we thought that it would be more interesting for people to have the time to prepare and stuff.
For what?
Actually, I started talking and then I immediately forgot what I was trying to say and then just trying to wing it into another.
See, maybe you just need practice.
So the whole problem with us, especially like the last week and our game kind of thing, is that we really weren't excited. I want to say we weren't excited to talk about anything. We didn't really want to talk about anything at all, and I think we just need to be excited about the stuff we talk about.
Yes.
So that this is like a goal we have to be mindful of. Whatever we do with our thing is to make things more structured or not. And
so when this is saying, why not let Jan decide on a topic so he can prepare? But do not tell Crapman until the Hootout starts.
I wanted that as well.
But the fun of throwing up the thing, then it comes up and then we're like, okay, let's talk about this. And maybe I'll have more fun doing that if I know you're struggling.
All about his fun all the time.
No, because the thing is, I love the Day of the Tentacle. But I'm not excited about it right now. Like, in this second, I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you catch me in a certain mood, I can probably go on for hours.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with these pre-planned. That's why I like just talking about what excites me in the second, because then at least I am excited.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at faking excitement. Beyond my obvious, exaggeration of it, but
yeah, I need something to go off on. Like,
hey, Red Rogue, or Friedrich, or however you would like to be referred to feel.
Yeah,
personally appreciated, which you are.
So that's the one thing, excitement to talk about stuff, and we have to keep it in mind that we do like any other sort of thingy. Then we had 2 goals with this. Like the first one with the game selection, everyone can vote, is that people are involved, like more interested to follow us. And I think for people to be involved, we have to have people watching. So yeah, I guess we can like keep that out. The other thing was to have a topic that we can tweet out, so people know what we will be talking about and maybe find that interesting to follow us.
It has not helped.
It hasn't helped in the last 2 times, I guess we tried.
So maybe this is also something that works better when we already have a large following.
I don't know. I think like
we need people to share it.
I think the topics are fine. Also, if you like change too much, it's always not a good idea. You have to.
That's why I'm changing everything back. Everything back. It was too much. We had like 2 huge changes, 2 preparation heavy.
And whose fault was that? I had like
yours, I feel.
No.
Even though I had the ideas, I was just following your lead of, oh my god, we need more watchers.
I had the ideas, and then you...
What? The game jam, that was my idea. The topics was my wife's idea. And so, I don't know what ideas you claim you had, but...
topics were my idea.
That was my wife's idea. She said we should do topics. And I told you, hey, Bali said we should do topics.
Yes,
I was like, yes, I had this idea.
Exactly. That's how I remember it. So, it must be Bali's idea. Sorry, Bali, for cheating on the cool ideas. But the other one, the game jam, I thought we could like challenge each other to play games and stream them and then talk about it. Then we would have already captured streams to run in the background, which is obviously more interesting.
Never heard that before.
Yeah. So, and then you, like one day you decide, okay, let's do both. And it's my idea.
Well, the point is we're going to do nothing of the sort.
Yeah, well.
So that should be fun. And that said, let's go into our topic.
I'm not done ranting yet.
Well, I just figured if we go on too much about the complaining, then maybe it drops into that boring zone again.
I feel like the boring part is just talking about how we fail at streaming. I think that's something everyone can experience by just watching us. We don't have to talk about this, but...
Well, then let's talk about something different.
Yeah, okay, but if we do, we should go to talk about the reasons why we do this stuff. And yeah, that were those. And I feel like, I think we can still try like topics. Doesn't matter if we do it in or out of the stream. We'll just try a lot of stuff. So we'll keep interesting. And I think we will never come to a formula for our stream anyway, where we say like, this is how it's going to work. It's going to evolve all the time. So don't be surprised if we say things and then don't do them.
I would assume that if people know us, they probably know that that's like just par for the course for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're now seeing live what you could otherwise just have seen over the years, how we start doing videos on stuff, then we stop them, then we start a podcast, then we stop it. This is always the thing. When it gets work, we stop doing it. And so the good thing right now is that we just have to stop making this thing work, because just setting the camera and the mic there is not that hard.
Yeah.
So that kind of works. But yes, as I get this feeling that we've exhausted the time that we can talk about this, that it's getting boring now. So I feel like we should now take this opportunity to talk about something much more interesting, which is guilty pleasure in games. I have one. How many do you have?
At least 3.
Of course. Have you put them in an ordered list?
Yes,
the internet loves lists.
I have one. So top 5.
Top 5?
Like putting our together.
I thought we were doing top 3.
Then... No, I have a couple.
Aha.
I have a few.
Well, I guess... You start us off?
I start and you finish us off? Okay.
Well, I guess we can do like, you do 2, then I do 1, and then you do your top 1.
That's a good idea. Not a top 1, though, but yeah, I have an idea how we could structure this so it's...
Alright, then let's do it. What do you got?
So...
What do you enjoy guiltily?
Okay, so first one, maybe a bit boring, but probably the biggest one. The biggest one. So it's called Gems of War.
Gems of War. Yeah. That sounds like something I've seen in an Android ad.
Yeah, probably. Interestingly enough, I think it's created by more or less by one person, and it's kind of an indie production. But
how is it?
Yeah.
Gems of War. If we know of war.
Jenna, if we.
Jenna macht Kaffee zum Genuss. I can see my mouse. Where is it?
It's at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And it's invisible.
Why it's not working? Okay. And now it's...
Yes.
Why is it... Oh, that's why.
When the still says he would be worried if we would do stable stuff.
Oh yeah, that would be utterly terrifying. Alright, let's see. What do we got there? Oh! Yes.
Yeah, that's a
told me
third
about
one or
this.
something. Yeah, anyway. Anyone is fine.
Well, I guess it says in the title what it is. It's the Gems of War.
Yeah. Best of Soul Farming Team 2019. Okay. Okay, so this is a match 3 game, and somehow I'm a huge sucker for combinations of role playing elements with different kinds of games. And Gems of War, I think I originally started playing this just for research purposes, like as actual work. I like. I had to do, and wow, this game completely got me.
There is one that looks exactly like this. I think we talked about this before with the
Puzzle Quest or what?
Puzzle Quest. Yes, that one I played, and I assume it's basically the exact same thing.
No, it's different. It's different in really important mechanical ways.
Ooh, it's not just different; it's importantly so.
Importantly so, for sure.
Okay, let's.
But if you
let's check a trailer. Okay, we did look at the trailer already.
No, that's best teams.
Oh. Hello, everyone.
Nope. No, thank you.
But as you can see, you have like a map, and you can go to different kind of
oops, sorry.
arenas or like places, and then usually it's not like this. What you can see, this PvP thingy where you can fight other people.
Okay, wait. Maybe I can't find a proper official.
Usually, you have like a little story. There's like a new character, because this is all character based, and the character has like it's such a stupid storyline every time. It's really, at least when I played it, I think it wasn't better. So who knows? Yeah, the promotional trailer is probably much better.
Yeah. Well, we know who made it at least.
But that's the publisher. Infinity Plus 2 is the creator.
But they only present.
Oh,
well, maybe that's because they present their own game. Oh, it is from the creators of Puzzle Quest.
Wow. Okay.
So let's see how this is different in very important ways.
Yeah. So you have Cleave, for example. Yeah. So you have heroes, and they have all like interesting different specials, and then you they need colored gems to fill them up so they can use their specials. And yeah, that's it.
I see.
That's a game. You can attack like a different.
Do you have a map to walk around, or is this only this?
You have only an overview map where you have like you can go there and there.
Oh, okay.
You have only some places to go. No walking.
Right. Yeah, because puzzle game was like almost like a real RPG. I mean, you couldn't really walk freely or something, but you had a map and you would just click on I want to go to that direction, and then when there's a character you can click and talk or whatever.
Yeah, you can't really talk to people here.
Yeah. And it was not deep, the system or anything.
Yeah, it's less RPG now, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so they basically just narrowed it down to the... What's it called? What is the famous one?
Match 3.
No. I mean like a game that made that that was so Bejeweled.
Bejeweled, yeah. But it wasn't Bejeweled a clone from another game even?
Oh, absolutely. I mean that's basically Candy Crush or whatever. I just knew Bejeweled like on the PC was sort of the...
Candy Crush came after Bejeweled, maybe? I don't know.
Did it? Well, I mean...
Do you have to test all my claims?
Yes, I need to know. What is it called? Candy Crush. So Candy Crush came out in 2012. Oh, it's not looking good for you. What? Puzzle Quest. Oh, it is looking very good for you. Not bad. What? No. 2012, did it say? Not 2. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Hey, you were right.
I talked about a different game, but yeah.
Didn't we talk about Candy Crush? Oh, before
Bejeweled. Yeah, Bejeweled was the thing.
But if Puzzle Quest is that early?
Yeah, Puzzle Quest isn't for Bejeweled, right?
It doesn't have an
2001. Initially browsers in 2001.
Is this the original Match 3 hype game?
I think so. Matching puzzle video games, PubCap, browsers. Okay,
so you could have tricked me into thinking you were right, but you've proven yourself wrong.
No, I was right.
Were you?
Bejeweled 2001.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. And I think there was one even before, but I don't know.
Probably. I mean, Match 3 is not exactly niche or anything. But yeah, well, I have not tried that one. I have only tried the Puzzle Quest, and even though it's like basically just the... I don't know, it doesn't feel like a game. It feels like sort of the idea of a game. I don't know how to describe it. But it's kind of like, it sort of looks like an RPG and it sort of plays like an RPG, but like the most simplified version of it, where basically there's no depth to anything at all, sort of a thing. Which is not supposed to be a dig at the game or anything. As I said, I enjoyed it. I guess I would have enjoyed it more if there was more going on, but it is a fun system. This matching colors to charge up attacks or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then the tactical part is like building your roster of heroes to take with you. If you can go one down in the middle, well, you can look at that, for example. So you can see they have bars. If they are full, then you can click on them anytime and use their ability against, like, well, it depends what their ability does, of course. Some just to deal damage, and in the end you have to fight the other side and kill them all. New characters can be incapacitated as well, and then you can't use their abilities. And it's really interesting to balance basically which colors you go for. And which abilities, of course, you want to take. And it's really limited, but somehow this was enough for me to keep me going. And I put so much time into that game. And yeah, and even now thinking about it, I could just start playing it again. And I really wanted instead to make like my own Match 3 game, because I felt like I have probably more fun with doing it myself. You can go bottom left. The image, that's something I really enjoyed as well. Every once in a while you get to a chest or like some kind of treasure or reward, and you get this reward puzzle game, and I think you have a limited amount of moves, and if you match up 3 of the same kind, they become a new one, a better one. So you have to increase basically the quality of the objects there, and and I think that's how it worked. And when it stopped, you get all that's on screen. And I found that really elegant and neat, and it was a lot of fun to play. It was like most of the fun to be. And yeah, I guess treasure should be kind of like most of the fun, or else it's not really a treasure.
So I'm saying Shariki was the first real Match 3 game, at least with the mechanics we today interpret as Match 3. That does not ring a bell. Let me look that up. What is Shariki?
Yeah, and obviously with like the over-the-top fantasy graphics and stuff, and the dialogues were really annoyingly dull and badly written.
That looks familiar. Though it's probably
it's a Match 3 game. That's like that you can play against other people that each have one. I love to play like Tetris against other people. It was a lot of fun on my DOS.
There is a game, maybe one of you knows this. It's sort of similar, except you don't match. You just click away. You have an array of blocks, so it looks like this. That's why I was thinking of it. except it's blocks instead of like circles. And similarly colored one, you click on them and it removes them all, and then it falls down and makes new shapes.
You have to
you're
drag lines, or do you,
No, you just
like
try
to draw,
to-
or you click on one and then everything that's
Yeah, exactly. For some the blue one here. If I were to like click on this, all these connected blue ones would disappear and everything would fall down. Or like the yellow ones down here, and you try to clear the field.
with this.
And you have to do it a little bit strategically that, if I remove those two red ones, then the one and the one, it stays there. You can't move them, you can just remove one. Like, I can remove the blue, and then that yellow one is going to come down a little bit. And so like this, you try to clear the field. I think it even had click in the title, but I forgot. That's something that my dad had on his computer when I was little.
Yeah. Kind of remember a game like that.
Maybe he'll remember what it is. All right. I know what you mean. I played something like this, but I can't remember the name of it. Well, that's fine. I'll find out. Okay. So, what else do you got?
All right. So it's getting more and more, I think, like guilty.
That's okay.
That's
true. That's not very guilty.
Storage? Storage marine. That sounds like a slave marine. Okay.
Yeah.
Warhammer 40k. Yeah. So like exactly. No pictures though. Yes, videos. Warhammer 40k Space Marine test review.
Test review?
Yeah, second video. Can you?
Well, let's see what they. So tell me about. I know Space Marine from your board game, I think.
Yeah,
but...
the tabletop. Oh, and the board game. Both, yeah. It's a super epic game where you play a Space Marine.
Oh, and that's cool.
As a Space Marine, you're really powerful, you're really heavy, and very self-righteous, and you fight other stuff. It's a really easy combat system, really makes a lot of fun. Sound design is great, like the weapons have exactly the right sounds they need to. Simple combat, like kind of Arkham style combat, just that you have a chainsaw sword, which is much cooler than Batman. Yeah, it's got a cool story, but yeah, I don't know. I always feel guilty for playing a game like that because it's just so. It is a satire. It's supposed to be a satire of war.
Oh,
but it's not
that's
really doing its job very well as a satire. Yeah, it's kind of more war fetishism, maybe. Yeah, it's a bummer, but it's a lot of fun to play, and I don't know. Somehow I enjoy it. Just in my opinion, a bit too much. Man, as you can see, you fight orcs. You can always like argue about representation in games and what's what. Like the Space Marine, they are basically super white dudes fighting to kill all the evil, bad aliens and monsters in the universe. But they are pretty effed up themselves, like having an emperor who's basically dead but kept alive. So it's a god emperor, and all might still lies with them. And it's called Warhammer 40k because they have been waging war for 40,000 years. So long, in fact, that they have forgotten most, if not all, of their real history or why they fight, and even like lots of their technological advances. For example, in that game, you will find like a huge Leviathan-sized mechs, which are on a planet, and I think, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the Space Marines don't really remember that they had these big things and how they could work with them, and it's kind of all the systems and stuff has kind of meshed with some form of really fanatistic religion they have, and they always spout stuff like that. When you load something, you get like texts from the Inquisition, like innocence does prove nothing. They are really self-righteous, really brutal, and it's basically like a stupid action movie where it's really bad. It's well done, but the topics are bad. What the movie really says, if you watch it or even as you play the game, like what exactly am I supposed to take away from this? But like shooting at stuff is fun. That's why it's my guilty pleasure.
That reminds me of 300, which now watching it again 10 years, probably after the last time, it's basically really good fascist propaganda.
It is fascist propaganda.
Just
and I loved 300 as a movie. I was so impressed with how visually beautiful it was, and it told this great story. I think it's been a time like with Fight Club. I really misunderstood what movies were trying to tell me.
But the movie also misunderstood what the source material was trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, kind of the content of the movie isn't really being expressed by the movie as efficiently as
it makes it look super cool when this is supposed to be like dumb edgelords.
Yeah.
So no wonder dumb edgelords like it. Like I did.
Yeah, and myself, yeah.
So when the seal has to go, that is then... I guess he's gone already. Enjoy your dinner.
Yes.
See you next time. And Friedrich says, I guess my biggest guilty pleasure right now is RuPaul's Drag Race. Well, there's nothing to feel guilty about there.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I didn't really get into that somehow.
What did you watch instead?
What did I watch?
You tried to convince me to watch it for a couple of times where... okay, that sounds weird, but... where a couple of gay dudes come into your life.
Queer
Eye.
Queer is amazing, and you haven't watched it yet?
No, I can't.
Why not? No, it's not. It's not awkwardness based at all.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just they are so aggressively gay, and I think I'm not ready for that yet.
Just watch it, you weirdo. They're not that. This one guy is very. And I think he also gets a lot of shit for that, Jonathan.
I think they're all like different shades of really expressionist.
Okay. So we're gonna watch an episode after this to just take care of this mess.
Oh man, why does this always happen to me?
It is a beautiful show. It is so kind and fun. Like this is one of the few shows, or like the first one I've seen where they don't make fun of the people participating there. They're just nice to them, and they really try to figure out what makes them tick and how to help them best. And of course, there's a lot of things that can be said critically about it too, but for the most part, it's just pure joy and pure love and pure kindness, and it's beautiful, and I like it. I think that's what I
know as a man, like pure joy and stuff like that. I'm not
learn
supposed
to love it.
No. I'd rather play Space Marine.
That's why I'm also making you watch rom-coms to get you in touch with your emotions.
Yeah. He's been doing that for a while now. I love sometimes I'm not even realizing that we are talking about rom-com. He's like, "Oh, you haven't watched that?" And I was, "No, I've."
Everybody should watch The Holiday. That's just if you take away one thing today, it's you have to watch The Holiday.
Okay, The Holiday was good.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, I watched that twice with him because I forgot that we already watched it.
Oh, was that the one?
Yeah, well, one of a couple of movies.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love watching them all the time, so we can We can revisit, we can like hammer this home, you know.
Mm.
Anyway, that's very good. And so, but I think the thing about RuPaul's Drag Race for me was that there is a lot of cattiness, and also I feel like that the judges are kind of judgy. I mean, I guess that's their job, but so I don't like the drama of it. I'm sure a lot of it is edited to make it more exciting, but I don't like people being, you know, not nice to each other.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're that bad. I just enjoy the pure, gentle kindness of queer. And I need more of that. There's not enough of that type of show. Like the Marie Kondo, clean up your life kind of thing is okay. But somehow I find that...
Well, I can see that didn't really work for you.
Well, you should, you know, ask yourself if your items spark joy. And all of this sparks joy for me, so...
Okay.
And we've already established that we don't have a lot, so... Leave me my couple things. But I also can't throw stuff away, so I probably really need this. Anyway, but the thing that I found strange about that, even though she's a very sweet person, Marie Kondo, just the basic principle of it icks me somehow. So it's basically people who have too much stuff, who have accrued too much, and they just don't know what to do, and in the end they just throw a bunch of stuff away.
Yeah, that's why I never watched it.
I mean, it's an okay distraction, but I really find it hard to empathize with that person who has collected. I mean, partially it seems also like it might be like not just a fable, but a horror type thing. There was this one woman who had like Christmas memorabilia in every room of the house and full of it. And sure, you know, in the end she threw a lot of it away, or I don't know if they give it away or something. I don't know, there was some debate about that. But in the end, I'm just not that... I guess I find it hard to empathize with people who have too much stuff, and that's their problem. Oh my god, I'm too rich. What am I supposed to do? Like, it's not as, you know, as heartwarming.
I have too much clothes. What to do with all my clothes?
So
I watched the trailer and as well. I couldn't really empathize with anyone of the characters that got highlighted there. Got too much of this, too much of that, and I like the idea, but the essence, does it spark joy or not? I don't have to watch like 10 episodes to get this. It's a nice idea. I like it. I don't need any examples for that.
I guess it's not so much about selling her approach, but to like make a reality TV show to sell it. And the first episode is pretty good, I think. It's a young couple who have a child, and they can't handle it anymore. Or I think they have 2 children, maybe.
The children. So they have to ask the question: does this spark
well, they're
joy?
toddlers, and so they have to they can't manage. Like the kitchen is always overrun with like the counters are full with just dishes and everything, and things like that. And there's not enough real space for clothes, and so the husband has to put his clothes in the child's cupboard and stuff like that. Wardrobe. Okay. But you can kind of see, I empathize with them because they're young parents, they're overwhelmed. And this reducing it down and the technique to do this, it seems to help them. But then when it goes into the people who just have so much stuff, and they're, I have a sneaker collection of hundreds and hundreds of expensive shoes, and I can't possibly throw a single one or like sell a single one of these because I just need them. And then it's like, I mean, fair enough. I also have a lot of stupid things, and I guess what I'm doing is data hoarding and stuff like that. So, okay, but I'm not as invested in your story then. As I'm sure nobody is in mine.
Well, now we heard it. Space Marine.
Yes, watch Queer Eye. Okay. So should I tell you about the one guilty pleasure I can think of?
Well, I've talked so much now, so why don't you tell us about your guilty pleasure?
For once, I get to say something.
Oh God,
and it is Heidi.
That's going to be fun.
So Heidi is a game allegedly. And you will see in a second why it's a guilty pleasure. So it looks a little bit like Portal or something like that, right? And
cheap Portal, yeah.
yes, and it is not exactly good. Like, it controls a little awkwardly, puzzling, but this, that's why you play this.
By the way,
Just watching some thick robot bounce around.
by the way, she's
Yes.
left of the center, as it's always the case in every game.
But proper left.
Nah, not
She's
really.
not in the middle, she's like left. I think I was just confused by one of those bad Cthulhu games. I was like, he's in the way. I was like, I look at the character and I was like, you're in the way of something.
Alright, sure. She can never be in the way.
Oh yeah, I guess that
Right.
wouldn't bother much anyway. This is not a good game. It's not that much fun to play.
I think she needs a bra or something.
Looks like it.
Maybe a pair
But-
of trousers.
It's well, that's why it's a guilty pleasure, I suppose. It's a thick robot in a thong. And that's what you look at for most of the game.
It's a rope. Alright, now I see the head.
It's a robot lady, yes.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And it's also like lavishly animated for her, at least. So the puzzles are all so rudimentary. It's like half of what Portal 1 did, just without the portals.
Mm-hmm.
And then half of that. And so, yeah, it's not fun. The 3D platforming is... It's just bad, I think. So it's basically a platformer made by people. I don't know if they know how to make a puzzle platformer.
Sure, it
Necessarily.
wasn't their focus in this.
It does not seem like it. So yeah, I played it like half an hour, I think.
Can we see like Steam stats?
Oh, sure.
I wanna see how many reviews it got on Steam.
I think that was quite popular a little while
Yeah, I
ago.
think it was. I think it was pretty popular, to be honest. And I wonder if, when we've talked
Wow,
about
a 9 out of 10 rating somehow. How does that happen?
4,500 very positive.
So wait, I did change the view, right?
It's nice that it's really upfront with it, about what it is. Right?
Yeah, that's why it's okay. It's just... It's really just this. This is why you play this.
Oh, they even made a company just for that. I bet they had an old company before, but
That's what we've been thinking about for a bit.
yeah.
But look like this, like how she jumps and then first lies on it and then jumps up and stuff. Just it's so obviously just to gawk at
Yeah.
robot butt, and I appreciate it. So that's. As I said, I didn't play it very far. Apparently, it gets quite hard at some point. Like I was already just tired, like trying to jump this model from like one column to the next without falling down, and then you have to go this way around to press one button, and it's boring puzzles too, So I would not recommend this, to be honest. But unless for
28,000, no, 200,000 sold games.
procs, yeah.
Approximately. At least, I mean, probably more.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yes, not recommended unless you like what you see now and you would like to look at more of it. That's
I always was confused by like erotic games like that. But why isn't that confusing? Isn't this distracting at least from what you're actually trying to do?
everything else is so empty that it's fine.
I feel like you can't really play the game and like watch, but maybe you can.
I mean, after a while, you've also seen it, and then it kind of, it's just that's just what the character looks like, and it's just how she walks when she ducks. So, yes, this is
Interesting. Well, in a similar vein, I
Ooh.
guess,
yes.
you could have a look at Bayonetta, which kind of made my list.
Oh, That's not how you spell it at all.
Bayonetta. That's the vegan version.
Bayonetta. I'll just throw something on.
Yeah, I think. I started the game just recently again. Because I kind of like fighting games. I started, I think, when I was working for the games company, and they had a PlayStation 3. And I was just like testing games they bought. And one of them was Bayonetta. And it was like when it came out, and there was like this huge deal about, is this like positive body, or is it exploitive, or is it like power fantasy for girls and women? And you said females.
How you had to work that to say that. Well, you tried and you made it.
Yeah. 20% better than last time. Anyway. Yeah, it's... I can't really answer if it's what it is. If it's like positive... body positive, sex positive...
Well, I don't know the
feminist power fantasy?
I don't know the game very much, but from the opinions that I've heard around, it seems like the consensus is sort of, yeah, sure, this is better than Space Marines, but...
There are no women in Space Marines, by the way.
But at the same time, it's still the same thing. You know, it's still showing sexy women, and that's the only thing you get to ever see in games. It has to be sort of a masculine strength also, you know, solving conflict through violence and things like that.
True, that's true.
So it's a positive example of the exact same thing as everything else, which like is debatable how valuable that is. But I hear it's a great game. I have never played it. And it seems to be beloved, so...
Can you skip a bit ahead?
It's
pretty
stuck
fun.
in the options.
It's a pretty... it's a solid fighting game, and it's like doing spectacle really great, as you can see. That's like that's the start of the game. You're already like on a falling clock tower, fighting angels, and killing them and torturing them to death.
Why wouldn't you?
With some other witch. And the conceit is that her powers come, I think, mainly from her hair. And that's why she's wearing her hair as clothing. And she can use it to do all kinds of things. But if she uses this, well, she doesn't have any clothes anymore now. So these specials that she does, you might see one sometime. She's pretty much naked all the time in these. And it's kind of fun. That I liked as an idea. Like, I mean, it's not a cheap idea to get your protagonist naked on a regular basis. I think that's a step better than Heidi, who's just...
Well, I feel like that's at least honest about it, what it is. This seems to like try to be all, ooh, you'll regret your words and deeds type of thing.
Also, she has pistols on her shoes.
Sure.
Which...
Pistol heels, right?
Yeah, which really sold me. Because that's a game that just wants to have fun. Just not concerned with anything else but having fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think it's exploitative in the way like the witches are framed there. It's probably not good either, like a positive thing you would like want to show your kids. But anyway, it's definitely power fantasy for girls, I think, or for women.
You think so?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's just a power fantasy for men, just that they have a sexy avatar to play?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I haven't played the game, so
because she's really powerful. She's really confident all the time. She's more of a domina than like, I don't know, other games that have female protagonists. Like
but it's still all
Lara
male
Croft,
fantasies, no?
She doesn't really go into that too much.
Like, I mean, what girl sits there and says, wow, I can't wait to be a powerful domina. Dominatrix.
Oh, yeah. Some.
I'm sure there's and we all appreciate them very
And
much.
especially like living in the patriarchy, did you want to just break it open, be like a powerful witch? I guess like I want my clothing to be my hair. It's not like the most sensible wish, but yeah, who am I to tell them they can't wear their clothes and fight with them as well? Hair, of course. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but it had like lots of huge what's that? Not a scripted sequence, it's a cinematic.
Yeah.
Got me bored pretty fast. Yeah.
Well,
unfortunately. But the real so this wasn't contender. I didn't really put
now
it
we
on
can
this.
see all the power fantasies we can engage in.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the regular one. Right, am I still in this? Yes. Oh, that looks...
It's a princess, maybe Sailor Moon. No, that's a Super Mario princess, obviously. Pilzkönigreich, right.
So that's... Yes, sure. Oh, wait.
Another one's the second. Princess.
I don't know what that is from.
It's still Mario. You can see Luigi there.
Oh.
There are two princesses at least in Super Mario.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that.
And there's Samus from Metroid.
I guess, is that it?
That
Oh, look, there was another. There's Link.
Oh, nice. That looks weird.
Okay.
A good stance, I guess. Gotta be low for like all these cool. Yeah.
But yeah, now this seems to me like if we're talking about the progressive merit, I guess. This seems like a very safe step in the right direction. I would call this.
I don't know if I would say safe because you're kind of going in the middle of this whole stuff, right? You're not really doing anything that's aggressively pro-feminism, but you're still, I don't know.
You still make a normal.
Do you think it's like
fighting game,
the kind of middle ground where you are basically doing everything you always did, but now you have like a different spin, so you call it feminism? I don't know.
I think it's a step better. I'd have to play it to like talk more about it, but it's just. Which is it out on PC?
Yeah.
I only knew this as a.
So she jumps through
console title
to transform in her true self. And like most of the guys really don't have interesting roles. She has to go through them to fight the angels, right? These are angels in that world.
But I think in the end it is like it's not challenging to male gamers.
No, it's not challenging.
So that's why I'm saying a very safe step. It may be the right direction, but I don't know if a female power fantasy looks like this. Like from at least reading around and stuff, it seems that the female power fantasy would just be to be acknowledged as human.
I think there could be a bit more.
I'm sure there could be more, but it seems like
power fantasy.
No, it's a power women don't have.
Yeah,
humanity. Well, they do have it, and they should have it.
Superpower you can have.
Yeah, which makes it even sadder that it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to clarify, I did this kind of in one of those A-sides just now, but obviously women should be treated as people, and it's not a power they have to acquire first. They are already people, and we should treat them that way, but obviously we don't. So that's what I mean. But yes, it would be interesting, for example, what I was thinking about recently when we were watching stuff was how much devs seems like an actual like feminist work. A strong woman whose strength is not rooted in violence or like masculine. It's not a man with boobs, right? There's the strength comes from character and determination, and she doesn't have to be a guy to be capable and awesome and everything, and that was pretty neat. Are there games like that? Are there any good games? Hard to say.
Yeah.
Yes, that can be.
Now we see the interesting stuff. Yeah.
I mean, this is also not to say that women shouldn't enjoy this or anything. I know that a lot of women do, which is obviously fine. Enjoy whatever you want.
I mean, I think like how it's framed, how you look at the characters, it's definitely
male gaze.
Definitely not just.
I mean, was
male
that shot
gaze.
just now?
Oh, that's not the only one.
Was that for women?
Sure. Women who like women, I guess.
Oh yes, sure. Let's not forget about women. Wait, is there
a word for it?
I think women loving women. WLW, I see a lot. So that's like a general term for women who appreciate women, I suppose.
I read a couple of things about like being gay in China, which were fascinating. But it's hard to really recite that. It was a Reddit post by I think a Chinese gay person who like shone a light at like which apps you use, and so apparently like most Chinese gays are living in the closet just because it's not like they would be not like Russia where they have to fear death if people know that they like other men, but that they it's just not how you're supposed to live. You have to have a family. So that it's apparently common, or like, I don't know if common is the right word, but it happens often that they have like they marry lesbian.
Oh, so like a mutual beard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
But a lot of them like pretend they are like, I don't know. I can't really talk to this. I just read that it's fascinating. If you want to look into it, like being gay or in China is definitely something I haven't heard a lot of until now.
All right. Well, good to know that that's available. Maybe I'll play it sometime.
Yeah. The actual game I wanted to talk about, like as a guilty pleasure, is something I'm not playing anymore. I can't because I don't know the name anymore. It's such a bad game. I think
that is a problem for sure.
Yeah, it's an arcade game. I played when I was on holiday when I was like 12 in Italy, and it was. I know there was Metal Slug was on one arcade. Then there was like the fighting game with the heads, with the animal heads.
With the animal heads?
We had to get like a werewolf or stuff like that.
Anyway. Hotline Miami?
No. When I was 12, so 50 years ago.
The original Hotline Miami.
But there was also a game that I definitely am guilty of finding pleasure in. It was a game where you had a picture of a sexy girl, anime style drawing, and then I think you were like, there was like water above it, and you had like a little boat, and you could like flip over the tiles, and you had to flip over all, and you were only safe from some sort of attackers on the flipped over tiles. And if you manage to flip over all the tiles, then the picture will be revealed completely. She will take off her clothes, and then she will show you like in a little animation how she likes to pleasure herself. Yeah, which were all like,
just in case it wasn't enough already. Yeah.
And then you got the next one.
I see.
I don't know when someone was playing. I never played that game, of course.
Of course not.
But when someone was playing, I happened to use my height to watch over their shoulders every once in a while. The end of the level, maybe, to find out the important stuff. Yeah.
I see. Well, interesting. But that does not ring a bell at all.
No, I tried to Google it like forever, but it's not enough really stuck in my head. Except that she was sitting on a washing machine. Also, if you Google for erotic arcade games,
that does not sound like a safe thing to do.
no, of course in private mode or something. Yeah, but
okay, we're gonna look at this for ourselves.
You will mostly find pictures of girls sitting in front of or standing in front of arcades.
Well, this is all very risque. I don't know if we can.
Okay, erotic arcade games. I think you.
Okay, this I think
we can show, right?
This seems what? Why is this moving?
I don't know, because you clicked on it, I think.
But I didn't. That's why it's a mystery. Okay. Hey, so here's a list of erotic arcade games.
It was definitely like the same quality as these games.
Yeah.
None of them.
One of these days, I guess we gotta found a second company to make games like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy that I made this stupid game, as you may know.
Keeps going.
Oh, I was just quickly wanting to illustrate
our thinking. So this isn't a joke that we want to make second company to make games of another kind.
So I made this game Dank Horse, which is just something that was in my head because of Katy Perry's Dark Horse. And it's really, well, you brush a horse's tail, and it's all very exciting. And the thing is, I tagged this appropriately. Let's see if we can get a quick glimpse. So this is, I don't know if I have the sound on, I guess we'll see. So, and then you brush the horse's tail. This is all you do, and you have like a fun animation in the end. And as you can hear, kind of has that sexy dress going for it, which I think I'll better turn off, just in case. What? Oh. Well, in any case, so I tag this as erotic, and it is one of our most visited, most played, most downloaded title for something this stupid. Yeah. And so I guess the real money, if I ever wanna, get out of needing a second job.
I'm not sure if you will make a lot of money with this game.
Not with this game, but like making erotic games.
Yeah,
clearly people are craving those. I don't know why, but it's huge.
It's a free erotic game. I think that's an important.
But it means because people only find this because they search the erotic tag.
Yeah, they want to see on itch.io which are the free erotic games.
Well, maybe they just want to see what erotic games. Like, I mean...
Yeah, then they see Dank Horse and I think, oh, let's go.
You know what I mean? You know that... I mean... We've seen this, right? With, like, Patreons of people who make, like, those cheap... Well, I don't want to call them cheap. Yeah, but visual novel type games.
Oh, all right.
Porn games. And they get, like, 50,000 a month to make games. And that's... And I feel like I want to have 50,000 a month, you know?
Yeah. That's
just, I would like this. I would enjoy that very much.
I feel very guilty about it. But our thinking was always that we make sex positive games that really are not exploiting, but educating.
Celebrating.
Fun, celebrating, yeah.
Yes, and so to be able to do this properly, we need to watch Queer Eye. So that... we
That's how it
can,
is.
first of all, get in touch with our feelings, which is important, I think.
Oh, wow.
And secondly, to like, if you want to be sex positive and celebrating of it, it shouldn't just be the heteronormative version.
Sure.
And I mean, one day, I would so love to hire people to write stuff. You know, to hire actual, I don't know, if we make a game about gay people, to hire like an actual gay writer.
Of course.
If we make it like,
I was
even
wondering why you want to outsource the writing.
well, I do like being part of it, but I also would
Yeah.
like to, include the people it's about. And
It's always a good idea, I've heard.
I hear so too. And to walk the walk, if you will. I also, when we were talking about Beast, that sort of mobile thingy, I was also thinking, because the main character is a woman, I would love to have like a couple women, like a writer's room sort of, especially if it's becoming a series, where you can like decide on sort of a overarching story arc, and then just have several people work on it, and just kind of meddle around.
Yeah.
And like, well.
Sure, there would be a lot of space in our office for a writer's room.
Can be
Soon.
digital.
Soon.
Zoom.
No, I said soon.
Zoom is a good idea to have a meeting room.
No. F Zoom. Use alternatives. Use the
Something was
free
wrong.
alternatives. That's better. But erotic games could be an avenue. I mean, there are the weird dating sims. There's all the other stuff. I've heard a friend of mine had a friend who was working in the porn game industry, and he made apparently a lot of money. He apparently made a lot of money for not very good games.
So,
But maybe that's kind of...
Yeah, I was just thinking, my first instinct was, what can we do with a good game? And then I was like, maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
If you try to make something good, it's not... Well...
But again, what do the players of these games really want? Do they want to like play half the game and then relieve themselves, or is it just like to get spiced up for the evening? Or
I imagine that it's a lot
enjoy looking at naked people, maybe just.
Well, probably, but I think it's like I would guess that it's like the erotic fiction, like short stories and stuff, that people just like to enjoy fantasies. They're weird ass fantasies. I mean, that you've seen that Chuck Tingle stuff, and that's like the
Tingle stuff.
That Chuck Tingle, that's a writer of like erotic but weird erotic fiction. So like he's the guy who wrote, well, how are they titled? They have such funny titles, and it's something like he never uses like. The title are very... Wait, let me look this up, because I can't think of the funny word he uses to... Like something like... Oh, yes. Pounded in the butt by a dinosaur or something like that.
Right.
And then pounded in the butt by my own butt. Pounded in the butt by my book. Pounded in the butt by my own butt. And stuff like that, So he got pretty famous like in 2014 or something
Cool.
with this stuff. And I feel like...
I always wondered if I should like start writing a book like that, where you can really get rid of all your inhibitions. You don't have to try to make any sense, or you just see what comes out.
Could be fun.
If you try to do something like that and just type.
I actually also researched like the erotic fiction market on Amazon.
Oh, you did?
And it's basically the more absurd it gets, the more people love it. So it's like... Yeah, it's sort of like just having fun, I think, but a sort of sexy kind of fun. But like there's things like where like pets, a dog, turn into a human for the night and ravishes the main character and stuff like that. And it's so weird, But I think that's the thing. You just gotta hit that certain nerve where there's people who are like, actually, I do really enjoy this on a guilty pleasure level. I think this is all guilty pleasure.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You wouldn't say I want to fuck my dog, but now that I'm reading a story, it's kind of like, this is nice.
I just assume most people feel guilty about that. Nice.
But I mean, that can still be fun and positive and everything. So, and unless it's very depressing, I think all our fun games, they're always weird. There's no
talking about my games.
There's no normal fun game. We have normal depressing games, but we don't have normal fun games, do we?
Well,
the wizard is. That's weird. It's weird and quirky. It's silly.
Quirky. It's not weird.
It's not a regular game. It's not like Gothic or something.
Game.
It's not even like Magic.
It's a dungeon crawler.
It's a weird, funny dungeon crawler. Are you telling me this is like an average of the mill game?
Pretty much. It's the most average game we ever made.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, our normal stuff is weird. Everything is awful is weird. What else did we make? Prime Division is the one game because it doesn't have a story.
But you could have one. Erotic Prime Division game.
Oh, the higher you get, the more clothing. That's probably what would make that game, bloom again.
Yeah.
Do better primes for removing more items. That would be
like every number is like a person, and you have to get the right prime factors to get them to take off their clothing. And of course, there's always just a limited number.
Well, I thought like as it goes up, that it starts with dividing a 4 is obviously a sock or something, and then when you get to the thousands and stuff, that's when you get to a shirt or a bra or something, and then so you have to I think that would actually work. I think that would actually really work well. Yeah, well, we should make a prototype of that and throw it up on Itch and then just see how people go crazy for it.
That's a good idea. Maybe we should do just one erotic game on Itch to test the waters, beyond dank horses.
Yes. So we just need.
But you couldn't go to schools with the prime penis division.
Penis division, yes. We probably couldn't call it that, right?
Why not? It's a medical term.
I don't know. Do app stores feel that way about it?
Right, app stores. I'm sure they have some restrictions on what we can do.
Well, I guess it's time to look for that anime artist.
Yeah.
Make something. All right. Well, on that. See, now we're ending on a hopeful note. Is looking to the future, to a brighter future, a sexier future. Oh wow! I would just be interested to see what, if the two of us try to make a sexy game, what comes out of that.
Oh god.
That's what I was thinking, but who knows? Whoa. Who knows? And maybe this would be the best place to start with a female writer's room. Is that maybe we get something that is not done by, what are they called? Weebs?
That's our target demographic. No? I think we have some when we have success and the 50,000 from our first game, then we of course do the writer's
target audience, but what they want, they're still gonna get naked women. But if it's wrapped in a story or a game or a framing that is more inviting to everyone else, then maybe that's cool. Yeah. Because maybe we don't even know what is sexy to women. I mean, look at us.
I'm pretty sure I don't know. So,
not a clue. So, I don't know what we can probably only make something sexy for other guys.
Yeah.
But maybe it can be combined.
It's our strength.
But if it can be combined, that it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that we have a very shallow, understanding of sexiness, and so we're gonna be happy with a couple of hot pictures.
Yeah.
And then everything else is like, ugh, whatever. But that's probably the part where then other people will be like, oh wow, I'm really invested in this, and
Maybe like
things
a
we would never think of.
huge erotic connected universe.
Oh shit, that sounds amazing.
And then they have like they have to come together to solve the bigger sexual problems of our world.
Do you mean like a sexy Marvel universe?
Yeah, sexy Avengers.
We should. Nobody steal this. We're gonna do that.
Cut the mic.
That is actually a great idea. I want to do this. I don't know if we're gonna get funding from the government for it, but I want to do this.
Maybe we can do it for the climate try and error jam.
Sexy climate change.
Yeah, change. I mean, it's like changing
that's
clothes,
true.
so maybe you can undress the earth.
Let's think about it. All right, I think we've hit our mark. This was more fun again.
Yeah,
Yes. I hope for you too.
yeah, it was more fun for me too. Thanks for asking.
You're very welcome. Ah, and I see Red King is just going live with Iron Harvest. Can we do one of these fancy... Like, I've seen... Well, how does this
Stream
raid stuff work? How...
Well, they're not here to help us, so
I guess not.
just gonna look very intent into the camera.
Yeah, let's look very intently. Oh, Friedrich is still here. Jana's playing new. Do you know how raids work? I'd have no clue how anything
In
works.
OBS, I think you maybe like on the
Actually, I have a phone.
symbol. No idea.
I think that's the chat settings.
Oh yeah, of course.
Wait, let me... Do you have a fun outro that you can talk about something while I look up how to do this? Wait, but it's only Friedrich watching, so why am I pushing you to watch Jana? So we'll figure that out when we have another person who's
making
not
a
already...
deliberate decision here not to watch the stream. So, we're not going to mess with that.
Okay. Well then...
But as soon as we stop, we'll probably still see the stream because we
do auto host, yes.
Sorry,
so that... Yeah, we're doing the hosting thing. I just know there's this raid type thing that if we would have like 3 people watching, we could like send them over to another stream or friends who are online if they have it enabled. But I guess we don't need to send you to watch something that you're probably already witnessing yourself in person. So, we've been talking over horse for a while. Then...
Oh, yeah, well...
Oh, wait, no, actually you wanted to plug this?
Right, so, I guess some of you might have heard, Friedrich. Moria is on fire, and it's not the Tolkien one.
Refugee camp.
In Lithuania. Why am I even trying to find it out? I have no idea. I know it's probably the fire was probably be done by some of the people in the camp.
Okay.
Which was like a huge. Oh well, they come over as guests and then they burn your house. But
is what happened?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well. If you say like you had a room for like 10 people and then like 1,000 people come, and then you jam them in there and don't let them out or back or anything, and then they feel so bad that they start a fire, then I think that would be accurate to compare.
I guess I've heard of these.
Right here, 30,000 people have been displaced in the camp from the camp, so there were 13,000 people there, and it's the camp was initially made for a max of 3,000 people.
Oh wow! Just 10 over the limit.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I've heard these like news before where in a refugee housing like a toast burnt and triggered the fire alarm, and then it was like listed as arson and things like that. So yeah, just I guess I'll have to look up what actually really is going on there because I'm still completely out of touch with any news.
Not sure you have to. I think what you need to know is that there is a problem there. 13,000 people need help from us. They have come here to Europe as refugees and are now stuck there, and their house burned down. So I think
I'm gonna put the link in the chat just in case someone watches this on VOD or something.
Cool,
Friedrich says donated already via Facebook.
Cool one, Friedrich.
So yes, good stuff. And I guess with that we wrap today's shenanigans. Yeah, join our Discord, please. Wait, do we have our link still somewhere? Discord. Then I'm also gonna throw it in there. Because then at least people will know where to find it.
Yeah, but I think you should at some time you should add it to our Twitch profile.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is actually.
Okay, so then just go to the profile. We don't need to post it here because I feel like it's a bit inappropriate for.
At this point, I mean, I was saying it anyway, so the inappropriateness has already happened.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put it there so that people can find it if they
please
want
donate, and if you want, you can join us on Discord.
Okay, that broke up the link, but it seems to still work, so that's fine.
Cool.
And yes, then we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening in, and
bye.
And follow Red King to Red King's lair. And Wendisil, of course. Well, you should be anyway, but yes, we are gonna hop on over before watching Queer Eye and have a look what Jana is playing.
See ya.
Bye bye.